Good morning, everyone. It's not so sunny here in Syracuse. I'm at Dave and Kate's house, and we're actually doing our Saturday Live from their kitchen. So she has this great sign on the back of her. I'm going to show it. I'm going to show some of her kitchen by their dining area. So I thought we'd start off with that. So I am going to show you a couple new products that came in, and I have a demonstration for you. So bear with us because Kate is videotaping. Hi, Judy. So do you mind if I show you your kitchen?
It's just a mess.
I'm going to show you her kitchen because Dave and Kate, oh gosh, if you could have saw, this is like one of those renovation projects, the before and after. So I think the coolest thing about this is all the cabinets that are in this kitchen came from our kitchen when we renovated it. And they were, gosh, Mark, what year did we build our house?
92.
We built our house in 1992. So back then, the oak kitchen cabinets were really big. Gold and oak were really popular. So after a bunch of many hours, what would you say, weeks, months, years?
It's a long process.
Kate and Dave sanded and painted many coats. And these are our old kitchen cabinets, which I love. I love the fact, especially that one in the back corner with the glass. That was like one of my favorite cabinets in our house. So I'm just so proud of both of them, of where they took this house and you know what they've done with it. You know, that hard labor, and you know, because you don't have the money to do it yet, you want new things, and just, you know, all that effort. And they did a beautiful job. And I love the fact that they repurposed and reused something we were getting rid of. So anyways, we're going to get started. There's people coming on, so I'm going to hand it over to Caitlin.
Thank you. Someone said, great kitchen.
So
Don't mind the donuts on the counter.
those are Paula's donuts. And lots of snacks. So what I'm going to do is show you some of the new products that came in. We just have a few more things came in, but because I was coming to Syracuse, I didn't want to pack a lot. But super hot right now at the 49th and Market. This new Sherbert collection line, and it's just a beautiful color palette. And this is the solid paper packs. And I love what they do on their cover pages. They do something on the back so you can reuse that. And actually, like every little part and piece of this paper, I would definitely cut up and use these pieces on the front as well. So you have a choice, the front and the back. But are you going down, Kate? So you can see that beautiful color palette. And this is the reverse side. So if you kind of like more of that grungy distress, they have that there for you in this range of color. And then just that watercolor wash on the other side. So we have a lot of these came in. And this is another one of the collection packs. This one is the classic collection. So it's those same color palettes. This is the front cover. And then we have these die cut pieces. And you know, it's funny, here in the US, our die cuts, we consider them already being cut for us. But in Europe, this is how they do all their die cuts. They print them on the paper and you hand cut them. Which for me is therapy, and I love doing it. A lot of people have issues. They don't like die or hand cutting, fussy cutting. So these are some of the paper palettes. In this particular collection, I do have individual sheets in the store. Look at that beautiful rainbow background. And so this side is the tidal wave, and this is, I think, strawberry lemonade side. So here they kind of blended the two. I mean, hard to choose, front or back. And this beautiful kind of pink, rosy pink color palette, the orange. You know, you can cut these apart and use bits and pieces, or you can just use this whole back without having to collage. I tend to like cut it apart and do more dimensional. We have the yellow, the green. You know, people are like, oh, you have these beautiful papers front and back, you can't choose. That's why you gotta buy two. You gotta buy two of each. So one you can use the back, one you can use the front. And this last. So this one is, what's the name of it? This one is the Sherbert collection, the classic. And the last one, and in the store we have all the parts and pieces. We have the ephemera, we have the layering papers, we have baubles, we have, I mean, the acetate leaves, we sold out of some of them, we're getting more back in. We have their washi tape, and just kind of check out this whole collection. And this one is the Spectrum Sherbert, this is the foundations, and then is the collection. Once again, you have all these cool die cut pieces on the back. And kind of more random, you know, maybe artsy, maybe too much for some people, but using them in bits and pieces, very cool. And if you can tell, this has like words on the back. This one's really kind of neat, like that one. Well, this, you can see, has kind of a lace figure in it, and this kind of canvas look on the background. This one has, it kind of looks like they stencil or painted designs in there. And the last one. So 49th and Market, check it out. It's probably the hottest paper collection in the industry going right now. And their paper is probably like 110, 120 pound weight. So it's a beautiful weight cardstock. So if you've never had any 49th and Market, I recommend giving it a shot. Beautiful products. We actually, if I was in the store, I would show you, we've devoted a whole little kind of unit to all their products. And we do classes with their bookmaking. So love, love, love it. Okay, so we go from 49th and Market to Photoplay. We have a new collection of stamps and dies from Photoplay. This one is called Coffee and Friends. It might be hard to kind of see, but I'll show on the back. Here's a card sample that they've done. So you have the two hands holding the mugs, and in the stamp set, you actually get a variety of different kind of toppings that you would want to put on the top of those coffee mugs. I'll show it on this side. And the really cute little sentiments that you have in there. So you have a little coffee bean stamp, you have the little hearts going in a swirl, the little greenery, just kind of maybe whipped cream, or what's that, latte or cappuccino when they do
like
the
the
foam on
foam.
the top? Yeah, the foam on the top. I'm just a regular like coffee girl, so. But really like this, stamp set. This is called Slow Down, and just kind of fun and whimsical. You have the snail, the sloth, and the turtle. Fun to color, super fast. You know, by the time you put your marker in those little areas, they're probably all filled in. And a lot of great little sentiments that you can put. There's a coordinating die cut that actually will cut out the little flowers and embellishments too. Love the font on these sets. And there's a cute little sample of something that you can create with one of the images in here. The next one is called I Love Mom, a great Mother's Day, but you can use this after the fact. It's not just for Mother's Day, even though there's a lot of sentiments in there for Mother's Day. You have these kind of little roses that you can use anytime. The little envelope, you can put anything in there. They do give you all these great little sentiments for Mother's Day. They have the coordinating die. And then on the back, here's a really sweet little card that they made. So even though this is kind of geared towards Mother's Day, just remember you can use any of the other stamps and dies that you can add to this and little messages that you can put for any occasion. Some great coverall background dies. This one is called the Starburst. It's a cover plate. It has these kind of, they look like starbursts. And I don't know if you can see, I did two samples. I did one on a blue and one on a white, so you can see it has that very kind of light and subtle like pin dot, which I love, then to do something on top of it. And I did a cute sample on the back. They actually inked the paper and die cut it. Here they used those little cabbage roses from this set and made a really sweet little thinking about you card. I love the fact that photo play, they often have great pictures on the back just to inspire you, to show you what you can do, you know, with their product. Here is another slimline cover plate. This one is called, I believe, Lotus. Yep, the Lotus cover plate. And here is the design on paper. Remember, even though it's a slimline, you can cut it down, use it on a mini slimline in an A2 size part. Yep, that's Sadie in the background. Pretty cool. I don't have the patience for it, but in these little pin dots, they actually hand stitched with rainbow thread. So a challenge for those of you that like to do the stitching. And you could do the same thing with the Starburst one. A new alphabet set. And these are probably good at 1.5 inches. This one is called the Uni Alphabet Etch Dies. And here, I just left it. I just used an 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper. Couple of uses. I actually can cut this if I want, use it for a background. I can actually use this as a stencil later on. I used 110-pound weight paper, so if I wanted to ink and do a stencil background, I can do that with this. And then here are the dies. So it's a nice, clean, simple font. And I tend to, kind of pre-cut a lot of these, maybe do a lot of them in white, and then keep them in a bag. If you, have a little container that you can put all the S's together, all the A's, do that, or, but then if I want to make it pink, I tend to color them with my Copic markers. But really nice alphabet set. Put those together later. Okay, so this is what I actually wanted to show you Wednesday, but the product wasn't in. It's something we've had in the store for quite a long time. We've had it in the past. We've been out because of COVID, but we've had these beautiful vellum sheets. They're actually images, vintage images on vellum. And I'm going to show you how to use them to make a really quick card. And if you go on our site, just put them all online, they are under Stamp on It, and they're called Vintage Hues, and there's a variety of different vellum sheets. And I'll go through the different designs we have after, but I'm going to show you how easy these are using one of their other products. Okay, so I have my white cardstock.
I can hear Sadie.
So this is glitter film. So this is really kind of important, and you can use it with this product, but you can use it a lot of other different ways. And this is an adhesive glitter vellum. I don't know if you could see it, but I kind of started it. It's a vellum, it's a film sheet that already has glitter in it, so you don't have to do that whole process. And this is adhesive back. You can see it's sticking to my thumb. So I chose that I'm going to use actually this set. This is the birthday greetings. And a lot of times when I go to estate sales and so on and so forth, I pick up all these postcards or birthday cards, you know, these vintage cards, and we sell them in the store too. And these are already done for you. I'm going to take this one out. You can use them straight on just cardstock without this glitter film. But the trick is, how do you adhere it so that you don't see any adhesive through these glitter parts. I'm going to do half of this because I'm going to do some with the glitter film and some without. So even this one, I'll cut this in half. I'll do half with and half without. And I didn't bring my big paper cutter, so I'm just going to cut this with the scissors. So we'll do half a sheet, and then you'll be able to see put the glitter ones out. And so on this one, I'm only going to need part of the sheet, so I'm just going to cut it. I can use that later. So I have my cardstock, and this is just regular 80-pound cardstock. I have my glitter film. Now, you could do the thing where you pull off half and put it on. I'm just going to go for it. And you're just going to put the glitter film on your paper. You do have to watch for ripples, but if you've done it a couple times, and I've done this many times, I'm able to hopefully get it on without getting ripples in it. This is that release paper. Save this, because this is great for making your little, the little dots that you use with the enamel dots or glitter dots, because then you can make them on here and let them dry and then pop them off when you need them. But I always kind of save our release paper, especially if it's a big piece like this, because you can use it over and over. So you see that I have my glitter paper down. Actually, you know what I was supposed to do? I did it wrong. The glitter paper, actually when I take it off, has to go on the vellum. So let me do this one over. Now the other one I had started, so this is like half the battle is getting that first one started. Not that I can't use that, I can use that for die cutting and so on, so I'm not worried about it. Okay, so now I have the glitter side up. Make sure the dull side of your vellum sheet is centered, is down on here. There we go. So you can see a touch of that glitter comes through, which is really actually kind of cool. I didn't bring a bone folder, so you want to make sure you get out. I can hear the bubbles coming out.
7 or 8 catches for
I did bring, you know, I had the Fisker little mini paper cutter, and I never use it. I always use my big guillotine, and I have the Tin's new tonic mini trimmer. Love it. Love, love, love it. Okay, so now I'm going to trim this down so there's a little bit of an edge all the way around. And this is going to, the size of your edge is going to kind of be determined by what you're going to do next with it. I'm leaving probably about a ½ inch. And I'm going to show you these little strips that I'm cutting off. You can reuse those, so save those. So here I have, which would be my card base, and I had pre-cut several different frames. This one's not going to work with this one because of the size. So I have to go home and look for a different rectangular frame. But you can see, so you're going to be putting this on your white and then adding a frame. From this company, they use a lot of border stickers. I'm not so much into the border stickers. A little bit too glitzy for me. Here is one that I did earlier. And you can see, just by adding a different frame, I might have to flip this around like this. So I wanted to trim this enough so that it doesn't extend outside. And on this particular one, I'm going to adhere this one flat, and I'm just using my Nuvo glue. So what I'm going to do, hopefully, I like that. So I'm going close to the inside of the frame. This frame worked out perfect. This is a MFT stitch frame. It's an oldie but a goodie. It's one that I use all the time. And what's nice is, because of that acetate, the Nuvo adheres really good. So now I can choose, I can pop this, or I can adhere it flat. And we'll let that glue kind of set in place before I make that decision. But in the meantime, I'm going to show you a couple other ones that I did. On some of the sheets come with 4 different designs. There are very few that actually come with the same design repeated 4 times. In this particular daisy one that I chose, it was the same image 4 times. So, which is perfect for what I wanted to show you. So on this one that I completed, I used that same frame that I did here. I used the white paper for the background to put my card base on. On this particular one, I popped up the frame. And the adhesive that I used is, because I popped so much, this is from Scrapbook Adhesive. And it comes in the regular, it's foam tape on a roll, and I think you get like over 100 feet or something like that. It's like ridiculously crazy. But this is the thin profile. It comes the wider one that we're all used to, but it has this nice thin one. And that's what I used on here. So I adhered this frame to the acetate like I did here, but then I actually popped the frame on the acetate and then glued it flat onto the card. Sorry. So that's one option. This one, the acetate sheet, I can show you. I put on the kind of that golden yellow paper, and it gives it a little darker, more vintage look. You can see how the white makes it pop, and the yellow paper is definitely darker, and that's how I created this card. But look how cool that glitter film looks with that yellow coming through it, because it's translucent. And this time I put a white frame on it. And the white frame that I used is this particular frame from Petty Black. And this is called Stitch Frames. So it doesn't cut the frame, so I cut it to the size. I cut my paper to probably 4 by 5¼ and I centered that frame because it doesn't cut the edge, it's just going to cut the design inside. And if I wanted a wider frame, I would cut the paper the same, but use one of the smaller frame dies. Because once again, the cutting line is the solid straight edge, which is you can see is in the center, and there's no cutting edge on the outside, so it's not going to cut that frame for you. You're going to have to cut the paper to the size that you want. This is like these are some of my favorite like go-to frames. So once again, this was done on the yellow paper. So just playing with the papers, you can see the different looks that you're going to get. And once again, I popped the frame onto the acetate and then put it flat onto the card. So here we have a green frame, just flat. We have the gold and yellow frame on the white paper, popped. And then we have another one just done on gold paper with the white frame. And this is just by itself. So it's really cool. It's a really cool product. I think the glitter film, I think you get 5 sheets and it's around $9. And what I wanted to show is when I was trimming all these little edges off, this is the glitter film, and you can just use it as strips of decoration. And I used Nouveau glue on the back because I didn't cut it. It was already, the adhesive was off because it was on the edges of the acetate. And I used Nouveau glue, and when the glue dried, it was clear. You couldn't even tell that I used clear glue on there. You could cut the glitter film in strips directly on the sheet that they give you, and then adhere it because I'll have the adhesive on the back. Or like I said, these were just the strips that were left when I trimmed the edges from, it had the acetate from our acetate sheets on the back, and just used them. So look how pretty that looks. And so let me just go through some of the sheets that we have that we got in. There are some contemporary ones. I think we don't have those pictures up because we just got the new ones in the system. We have a couple others in the store. This one is the birthday one. Love this one with the roosters and chickens. This one is Flowers 11. And a lot of these you can add your happy birthday, get well, thinking of you, sympathy little messages. These are all just, this is floral 6 with all these different roses. And people that do junk journaling and mixed media, you can actually put these in your work too. These are some of my favorite, the 4th of July. You can see how bright and vivid the designs are. Love that. We do have a lot of Christmas ones, and in some of the Christmas and winter designs, they do have the 4-in-1, so you can make the same card over and over again. So that's just a few of the designs, but if you go in under Stamp on It on our online store, you can see a lot of the different vellum acetate sheets that there are. So I don't know if there's any questions. Anybody have any questions? Kate was probably so focusing on, we'll just wait a minute, see if there are any questions. She was probably so focusing on taping.
I don't think there were any questions. Just comments on Sadie.
Yeah.
And beautiful.
So,
Happy Saturday from
Happy
Judy. Oh,
Saturday.
sorry, my fingers in the
Yeah. So I think that's it then. I just wanted to show you these.
Love it all.
Oh, thanks. The store is open. Charlene is there and Lori is there. Mark and I are heading off with Dave and Kate to a couple of our favorite little spots today and just enjoying the day. Hopefully the sun will come out sometime. Hopefully it's out in Buffalo. So I just want to say thank you guys for joining me, and we'll see you next weekend or next Wednesday. So have a great weekend. Take care.